Welcome to another episode of a 90 Minutes podcast. I am your host, the legendary David Valentin, and alongside me tonight, uh, the voice of the people, our friend John Widner. How you doing, John?
Good, David. How are you?
Doing good, my friend. Three
Good.
points in the bag. Fantastic night this past Saturday. Can't ask for more. So, um, real quick, my friends, we started an account on Rumble, which is a new platform. We need 25 subscribers in Rumble for this stream to also be live on the system. There, we obviously want to catch as many Orlando City fans as possible. So if you have a Rumble account, look us up in 90 Minutes Podcast. In 90 Minutes underscore podcast in all our platforms, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. So with that said, our friend Brian G is not gonna be with us tonight. Obviously, work got in the way. Gotta remember, this is free. This is for free. We do it for the love of the game, and unfortunately, he couldn't make it. So obviously, he will be here next week, God willing. John, let's go about uh, the first things. Your impressions about game day, the tailgate, everything that was going on. Who you went with. Just tell us basically how your day went pregame.
Yeah, we were there for almost 6 hours before the match started, tailgating with TCC. Have some friends there and everything.
TCC is for the children, I hear.
Yes, that's their new shirts. They actually look really good. But did that, cooked some wings up for everybody at the tailgate. Had some adult beverages. Brought a first time fan to the game, who ironically was from New York. She said she was split inside watching the match, but she had a good time. She wants to come back. Game day experience. I was actually shocked. We got to the gate at about 6:15, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
There was no line, which opening matches never happen. Before, no matter when you enter in the supporter section.
Yeah.
Got in there, got our seat, got it where we stand and everything. The graphic, they have new graphics and everything. The lineups were a little bit different this year, especially the starting lineups. Some new music, some new features beforehand. I was impressed. I like the changes that they made inside the stadium. The new concession stands look really sharp with all the wood and everything that they installed. They're not so bland
Mm-hmm.
anymore, a little more modern.
Yes, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I like where they're heading. Kind of like what I said last week. If they keep improving on what they've already done in less than a year, I think they'll be where they need to be as far as a marketing and customer service standpoint. How was your day? How was your
Mine
match
was
day?
great, man. I went with my cousin Jonathan. Give him a shout out. Jonathan played for our high school. When I attended in the '90s, we didn't have a team, and we never actually had the opportunity to sit down and talk about it. And he said, no, what it was one of my friends. His dad was a Spaniard, and he wanted his son to play football. They started a team, and they were in 2006 the runner-up champions for high schools in Puerto Rico, and I thought that was pretty impressive. So he had never been to Orlando City game. He came. He left just like your friend John, asking when's the next game. And that my experience is when people are always asking when is the next game. The poison is working through the blood system, right? Um, my nephew Daniel came along, and I had seen him in December, and he told me, "Uncle, I watched the World Cup. I want to go to an Orlando City game." So we took him, and he was like glued to the action. So I know an ultra has been born. And also, for those that were listening last week, I'm going through some training at work, and one of the guys in the training is lives in Calgary, Canada, Alberta, and he wanted to before even meeting me, he already had plans about going to the stadium, and he sat with us, and we had a great time. We partook of the activities, and we then went inside and got to see new pictures. I don't know if you noticed, John. There was new pictures of big moments, the Rodrigo moment, Kaká, all that. Our house looked beautiful. There was a lot of improvements, and I've been very particular about that because a stadium in our past, it was a rental facility. Now that we have our own house, I think it's time for us to make it our own, to personalize it, to when overseas teams, the ones, especially the ones I follow, speak of their house, there's such a reverence to the place, to the neighborhood, to the streets, the businesses around it. I want that for us as well. I think Paramore as a community and Exploria Stadium, they deserve that type of reverence from us. Yeah, it will be, being in an NFL stadium gives you more space, cheaper seats, and all that. But there's nothing like having your own house.
No, definitely.
And before I move on, John, let's touch some of these comments here, because we're gonna go into the nitty gritty. You guys know I can be censored, and when our club drops the ball, we gotta talk about it. And I want to thank the 12 people that are live with us. First comment here, Jared Quackenbush. I had a great experience with my son at the home opener. Great seeing a full stadium. But wow, do the corridors get packed during halftime? And this is something, friends, that Jared Dillon in an interview with the Mainland podcast, because again, all the podcasters are our friends. We're not here to, pretend that nobody else exists. I listened to that interview, and he said that this is a problem. It's a crowd control problem. Because when it rains, you can't be in your seat. You can't force 25,000 people into the aisles, into the corridors. You're packed like sardines. It just doesn't work. So they are looking for ways to expand the secure area of the stadium, meaning in a near future, for you to be able to actually exit the stadium and still be within you know what I'm saying, like the controlled area. So that's something that they're working on. He said, obviously, that it's gonna take years for us to be where we need to be. He's asking for patience. I'm okay with that, John. I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I envision it being something like at Fenway, where they have it used to be called Yawkey Way. They changed it to something else now. But it's literally a street in Boston running right next to Fenway. And I'm pretty sure non-game day you can just meander on down the street like usual. But during game day, they have entrance right there with the people to give their tickets, or in our case, it'd be to scan the tickets and the security checkpoint and everything. I could very much envision them doing something like that with maybe with South Street or the one on the other side by the wall.
Yeah, Church and Central.
Central, there you go. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go,
doing
brother.
Something like that on both sides of that would help.
No, absolutely. And there's plans for the church property and what we know now as the Main Street. Let me go here. Jared Quackenbush, vamos. My man Ahmed Salim, vamos. Thank you, brother. Great contributor to this podcast, Daniel Phillips. This is going to be a great season. Amen, man. I hope it is. And because this is a podcast where you're gonna learn things. I'm about to teach you guys one thing. When we say amen in Hebrew, means it will be. So we are declaring that it will be. So if you say amen, well, it has to be. So amen on that. Let's see here. Next comment. Breezy Lee, let's go Orlando City. Absolutely, let's go. If you guys follow me on social media, you saw me stuck in traffic. I'm still in the mood. You know, we were chanting in the car with the kids. Had a great time. Last two comments before we go diving into our first topics. What about the traffic after? Haven't seen traffic like that in a long time, which is a good problem, my friend. This is Ahmed Salim again. That's a great problem to have. I know that the Magic had a game and there was other events, but it was great to see our community come together once again for the Lions. We had a total attendance of 2488, so we missed the full house by about 1500 or so. So let's see here. A win is a win, but how do you feel about the win? I was a bit thrown off when they first. I guess it follows the comment. A win is a win, but how do you feel about the win? Okay, we're going to talk about that in our last comment here. What are your thoughts about the new signings, Jaden Smith? Absolutely, we're going to talk about that real quick, guys. But first, I want to touch base with the first topic here, and the first topic is the STM gift. And listen, the club has done fantastic things for us, the fans, on the pitch, the facility, and everything. This is not an assault on the club. It's just a complaint of mine. Maybe because I saw how we were going throughout the off season with all these things, and I was expecting the gift to be. I was expected it to be blown away. My opinion, 2019 remains the best, with a little tin can that was decorated with a scarf with all the great moments until that point. So the gift this year comes in this little bag. Looks like the type of bag that my wife will get when she goes to buy makeup. No pun intended. And the scarf, which, guys, it's beautiful material compared to last year's for sure. Beautiful material, right? There you go. John has his. Man every wall, and then Orlando City in the rear here. I mean, beautiful, gorgeous. The problem that I have with it is that on TV, when people were holding it like this, you couldn't read what he says. As a matter of fact, you can barely see it. So on TV, it looked like people were just holding a piece of fabric, and that's my complaint about it. I thought that was super simple compared to years past, where there was, last year they had a little license plate and all these other things. And I'm sorry, last year it looked like somebody went to a Dollar General and just grabbed a bunch of stuff from the dollar rack. And then this, which John's girlfriend had to tell me that this is an iron-on patch. I didn't even know what this was. I gave one to my nephew because I got two for my 2 season tickets. And I gave one to my nephew. He's like, "What is this?" And I'm like, "I don't know. Just keep it as a token of your first game." So that's that. John, opinions on the STM gift?
Yeah, that patch I thought was a coaster when we got ours, and then I guess somewhere on there on the back of the cardboard in the wrapper, it has directions for it. And that's the only way we found out. Yeah, the scarf, they could have done better with the design. I mean, the idea they had for the scarf is really cool. I just like to see it a little more, like you said, a little more visible with the writing and the crests on there. Up close it looks really cool, but you can't tell, once you get 10, 15 feet away, what it even says.
No, absolutely. And again, perhaps because Orlando City in all its metrics has exceeded, I was expecting something better. I'm not. Some people are like, dude, be thankful that you were given something. Okay, great. But other clubs have come up with better things. So I was just a little disappointed, and and that's it. I mean, like I said, you guys know I'm a wild albino tiger. I cannot be contained. And in this podcast, we don't answer to anybody at the club. So if we see something that we feel that's important, we mention that. Before we move on, what you thought about the improvements TVs in areas where you cannot see the jumbotron, the big screen, which I thought was fantastic. The self checkout, I thought that was fantastic too. The prices were very, very good, and on top of that, the quality of the food. My friend Dylan there had a chicken sandwich, and I could have sworn that came out of like TGI Fridays or something like that. The quality was incredible. And so how you felt about that, man? I thought that was the fact that you could go get soda, get food, get back on your seat without missing much of the game. I thought that was fantastic.
Yeah, it was really quick. During the game, my girlfriend ran to use the facilities and got us a drink, 2 drinks actually. Got me a beer and her a soft drink. And when she got back, I was surprised she was back so quick. That was during the match. That was probably about midway through the first half, I would say. So it wasn't halftime where, everything gets crowded like every other sporting arena. But we didn't have any food this time around because of the tailgate. I had my chicken wings to eat. And but based on what we had during the preseason match the week prior, it was excellent. The food, wasn't terribly priced. As far as the stadium goes, it was cheaper than the amusement parks, which is always a good thing. Better than what Amway Center has for sure, I would say. Amway Center
For sure. I thought the fact that they brought in restaurants from the community in, I thought that was a fantastic move. And that's part of getting the community, once again. And I quote myself by saying, making the community fall in love with the club again. And I think we are definitely heading in the right direction. I actually was looking at games late in the season last year, and the place was empty. And today, when you look at the highlights, you see motivated fan base and a lot of new people, John, a lot of new people online talking about they had a great time. They're coming back. And that brings a lot of joy to me because it's something that we have missed for a long time.
Yep.
And that's going to usher us to our next topic, which is the honoring of our history. I'm going to take a moment to say that, just like I told Jared online, I said thank you for honoring our USL pass. One that previous ownership tried to hide as if never happened. It happened. It mattered. It matters to the fans. It's our history. Great moments, great memories. We need to honor those. Jared has hinted that next year we're going to have a third kit, and that third kit is going to pay homage to our USL roots. A lot of people are wishing for a red and white kit. I am one of those. I know a lot of people feel that purple's our color, but I was there in 2011, and the red and white brings a lot of happiness because it was a season where the club almost ceased to exist. And to me, those colors represent rebirth for our club here in Orlando after the failures in Austin. And it's important. So, surprise to us, 2 banners honoring our USL trophies. And I want to say something real quick, John. And I'm sorry I'm monopolizing the microphone, but I got to let it out because it's been years bottled in my heart. A lot of people say that those trophies don't mean anything. They're just a minor league and we should concentrate on MLS. Without those trophies in USL, there's no MLS. Plain and simple. Fabio would have had not spent $13 million buying the club and paying $150 million to get us in MLS if this club was not successful. Plain and simple. It's just what it is. The trophies got the attention of MLS, and we are here. Thanks to them. We got to honor them. We're going to honor the men who shoulder this club. And without further ado, let's go and look at the moment when the banner was lifted. And immediately we're going to go and see the TIFO for the 2023 home opener. All right. So next video is coming up, and that's gonna be the lifting of the. Thoughts, John, on this moment of honoring our USL pass and also lifting our 2022 USL Championship banner, and obviously the tifo, which was gorgeous. And it wasn't until I got home watching the video that I realized that the Gators are eating a pink flamingo and the Open Cup trophy.
Yep. I love it. I mean, you are what your history is to some extent. And, anytime I see anybody in wearing a red kit on game day, I love it. The red kit brings back a flood of memories because I moved down in 2012, summer of 2012. So seeing the billboards with all the guys in red kit, but everything else has purple lettering, it's kind of like what's going on. So I went to my first match. I believe it was the next spring or later that summer. I can't exactly remember now. It's been 10 years. Followed all the way until today, like I said on our first podcast. And I mean, those years that we won, back to back was incredible. It almost gave us unrealistic expectations for how MLS was going to go.
I thought we were going to win the World Cup, bro.
Oh, yeah. I thought, I'm like, we're going to go. We're going to win MLS. Our first
everything.
Year, we got Kaká. We're unstoppable. Let's go.
Yes.
And then reality smacked us in the face by July.
No, I mean, the reality smacked us on the face when New York City scored our first goal. Let's be honest. True. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
You're fine. The banners were a pleasant surprise. By the way, New York, that's how you do banners, not a little placard on the side underneath the stands.
Well, they don't have their own house, so you can't blame them.
Yeah. I mean, and to go back to history, that kind of leads me into my thing. The thing that people don't realize, or some people don't understand that are new fans, and even some current fans, casual fans may not, that have been following the club casually for a while. The difference between us and a team like Atlanta and a team like New York, I'm getting on a little bit of a soapbox here, is we're a grassroots effort. That's what a soccer club is supposed to be. It's not supposed to be some multi-billionaire guy coming in, throwing money around like it's nobody's business, and just creates a soccer club. That's not what it is. It starts with the fans. It ends with the fans. That's how we started. That's why, Cincinnati, our next opponent, we'll touch on later on in the episode. They're a grassroots effort. That's my hometown. I watched them from when they did kind of the same thing we did. They didn't win anything. I don't think they won anything in the USL. So if they did,
they won the regular season championship, which, by the way, we won 3 of them.
Yeah,
in two season championships. Go ahead.
But they pushed on in the U.S. Open Cup, beat several MLS squads like we
did. They sure did.
Right before we moved up. So teams like that, teams like Austin's went through it. Austin's been through the ups and downs of being a lower level soccer club, no matter where you are. Of the team potentially going out, losing, closing, and then coming back and then potentially closing again. So for those fans that wonder why we hate Atlanta and why we hate New York City FC so much, that is why.
For sure.
Yeah. For sure. So, but if we get the red jerseys next year, that'll be iconic.
I'll be the first one in line. I gotta tell you. There's some comments here. Jared Quackenbush, our history is everything. Build not but. Let's keep building. Absolutely. And I have said it many times, and we are in a time that to me is beautiful when we see fans that are expecting children, and the first pictures of the baby is with Orlando City onesie, which, by the way, reminds me Elliot Holman from MLS UK show, a podcast, who's also an Orlando City fan, is expecting. So I don't know if you're going to listen to this, Elliot, but congratulations. I told him on Twitter. So, and his announcement on the show was showing the onesie. And so yes. So the beauty is that as the fan base grows, there's going to be new generations. Clubs need the children. They need the kids to carry on. We're not going to live forever. And especially with the supporter groups, to me, it's a young man's game. And we need forward thinking leadership, people that this generation that now has been born with the club in full bloom. The generation like me, John, who built this club, attending minor league, going to events, trying to convince MLS to come to town and all that. This generation eventually will phase out. And, in 100 years from now, God willing, the club will be just as strong as ever. And Exploria will be standing, holding all these great memories. And, like I said, it's important that we think into the future, and we're very proud that we're not just a product of some millionaires I don't know dream. We have space for a lot of banners. Ahmed Salim, absolutely, my friend. Many more banners, many more years. So friends, let's head out to let's see here. Yeah, we cover all this, blah blah blah. Let's start with the stats, John, as we dive now into what everybody wants to hear, which is what happened at the game.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't pretty. Anybody that watched the match wouldn't say that. I mean, we won possession. Other than the scoreline, that's about the only other thing. Only other thing we won. We only had 6 shots. One of those on target. That was the PK. 51% possession. New York had 14 shots, 4 of those on target. Gillespie came up huge. Had, 4 saves, 3 of which were incredible saves. That's what it is. It wasn't pretty. It wasn't a pretty match for sure.
Yeah, it was pretty even to me. I think if I can be honest with you, it looked as if we had 2 teams that were playing not to lose the first game of the season. 2 teams that were very pragmatic on their attack, very conservative defensively, and at the end of the day, a penalty is what decided the game. Like you said, I felt that Pedro made himself huge. Red Bulls had 3 clear opportunities to score. They failed to concrete. Thank God. If you look at the stats, I mean, these teams are super even. Our lineup, the starting 11 for Orlando City was Pedro Gales on goal, and right back Holiday, Schlegel, and Jansen in the center. Petrazo on the left, Pereira and Araujo in the midfield, and our attacking trident was Torres, Ojeda, Angulo, with Cara as the spearhead, as the number 9. And Red Bulls had Carlos Coronel, who I felt had a good game as well. Unfortunate about the penalty. He actually has studied the video on Facundo Torres. He guessed correctly where Facundo put the penalty last year, but Facundo, I guess, did also his homework and knew that that's where he was going to be expecting him to go. Tolkien, Niles, Reyes, Harper, Morgan, Cáceres, Amaya, Luquinhas, Elias Manuel, and Barlow round up the starting 11 for Red Bulls. Our subs were Cartagena, Torhalsen, Ramiro Enrique, which I was very impressed by this gentleman, and El Soldado, the taxman, who has taken time away from tax season, Kyle Smith, and came out to see the game through. Let's go out. So we win.
That's all that matters.
That's what matters. We won. An ugly win, but a win nonetheless. Now, John, I was concerned
Yep.
because this result is another Poppy special,
Hmm.
and we were told that we were going to be moving away from the Poppy special, but it happened.
Yep.
Do you think this is just a coincidence in the universe, or the way we're gonna play? Because we look dangerous, we look fast. Now, something that everybody in Section 3 was commenting was the team did not look as fast as in years past. Obviously, different players. They're learning how to play with each other, and like I said, they were very conservative when it came to the attack. Because when you go fast, you're opening yourself,
Hmm.
especially in the midfield, and that's when they catch you in the channels. We call that la gambeta in Spanish. You know, the conduit, I guess, will be the proper translation. And that's how they punish you. And we saw them do that to us at least 3 or 4 times. And again, it was moment of brilliance from Pedro Galese and moments of brilliance from our defenders that prevent that from happening. And also, we have to say, the inability of the Red Bulls players to put the ball on frame. Um, so, with that, do you agree on that? I mean, did you see us slower? Did anybody was underwhelming to you? I mean, in all fairness, new team, so obviously we're getting to know these players.
Yep.
So what do you think, John? I mean, did anybody was
Well,
underwhelming to you?
the one that was underwhelming to me, which I was surprised at, with how well he played last year when Antonio Carlos was out, was Schlegel. He last year he looked pretty comfortable on the ball. Now, I know Red Bulls, they press and they press hard, but Schlegel didn't look comfortable. Janssen didn't look comfortable on the ball. Defensively, they played very well. Just one blunder, it's going to happen in a game. You're going to make an error. Luckily, they poked it wide, shot it wide, and didn't cost us anything. Um, but as far as us being slow, it was one of those. It was just like the team getting to know each other in a match and the speed of a match. You can do it in practice 100 million times. You get into a match, all of a sudden everybody's a step quicker. They just see, there were a couple times, especially in the attack or in the transition moments, where we would pass it to one of the new guys, would pass it to one of the guys that was here last year, or vice versa, or new guy to new guy, and he went this way, ball went that way.
Yeah.
You got it. There were a couple of times I saw in the replay, actually, one specific one. Ojeda went to play it out wide. This was in the second half, I believe. Ojeda went to play it out wide to Torres, expecting Torres to be running towards the corner. Well, we all know Facu likes to go to the middle. So Ojeda plays it out to the corner. Facu just kind of makes his first step inside, and the ball's by him. And you see him just kind of go like this and point right in front of his feet, like I want it right here at my feet. So it's new player, Poppy special. I think it was just the opponent more than anything. The Red Bulls can really, really hurt you. Hurt you if you turn the ball over in their half, and they get a chance to counter. That's their specialty. So we were playing, like you said, not to lose that, especially once we got up 1-0. But I do think it had to do with somewhat of the opponent. I mean, the Red Bulls are going to be one of the top teams in the East this year.
No, absolutely. And Red Bulls have always been a club that has achieved greatly. Unfortunately, they have never been able to translate that into trophies, meaning Open Cup or MLS. Unfortunately for them, that has been their story. But I think we have figured them out. And sadly, they have lost their last 3 matches against us. Obviously, they will have something to say when we visit them in northern New Jersey as the season goes. We'll see how it goes. Right now, the greatest technical game that Orlando City has ever played happened in 2015 at the Red Bull Arena with I believe it was the last time Orlando City player had a hat trick, and that was Kyle Aaron. And it is incredibly sad, John, that we haven't had a hat trick since 2015.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Incredibly sad. Daniel Phillips, I wish Facu would have made the inside run when Ramiro had the break on the right side. Facu stopped and waited for the layoff. I feel like Facu could have had a chance if he runs underneath. And Daniel, that's exactly what we're talking about. These are players that are getting to know each other. And not for nothing, Rebels have those moments too. It is early in the season. I want to remind everybody that obviously we're gonna have the game against FC Cincinnati this Saturday, and Tuesday we head out to Monterrey, Nuevo León State in Mexico, to face our first, not our first, but our second international opponent, in our first time playing a game that matters outside of the United States. And we'll definitely touch base on that. Last comment here. Ahmed Salim, I was just really surprised at how we came out compared to the last preseason game, which is true. I was fearing a 0-0 result. I'm a purist. A point is a point. And sometimes that's the type of game that you got to play. And I know for a lot of people are like, well, it's there's no relegation. Now they are going to let pretty much everybody and their mother in the playoffs, which I don't think we touched base on that last week.
We did not, because that came out on Wednesday, I think.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. So a topic that we can touch right now. Immediately after this, and so to wrap up the Rebels game, I think if I can take anything out of it, in my opinion, the MVPs of the game, Pedro Galese had a superb game. Pedro Galese, our friend Miguel Gallardo, who I saw at lunch today. So Miguel, if you're watching, thank you very much. I was super excited. I gotta make a briefing here. Like I said, I'm going to training, so I was out with the guys from my office, and there's like 4 or 5 of us eating outside of the Chipotle by the airport over there on Lee Vista and 436. And all of a sudden, a young Latino man in a sports car starts screaming at me, calling me, and I look over and I'm like, well, I don't owe people money. So I don't know who this guy is screaming to. And it was the legendary Miguel Gallardo. And he said hello to me. I said hello to him. And there was a car behind, so we couldn't stop and talk to him. I was mid-chewing. I was like, I'm going to watch your game. Yeah, that's all I managed to say. Because obviously him and our good friend Sergio had the call for the game at Philadelphia. But our friend Miguel Gallardo always said that some saves count as goals, and I feel that Red Bulls had the opportunity to tie the game, and again, Pedro Galese came in big. The one player that I was shocked, John, I was pleasantly surprised, Ivan El Rayo Angulo, the lightning bolt. That man was everywhere.
Yep.
He was attacking as if these players owe him child support. I mean, this was just everywhere, aggressive. In last Ramiro Enrique. Ramiro Enrique got on his bicycle in the 70th minute, and he got me out of my seat. I was screaming to the heavens. And unfortunately, he was tackled. I thought the play was going to die right there. But Ivan Angulo said, not in my house, picked up the ball, and by a foot was almost that was almost a second penalty, if you ask me.
Mm-hmm.
Had he gone into the box, God knows what would have happened. That guy was running with a purpose. So to me, I really like that our new players are bringing a lot of intensity. Yep. To me, Ivan and Pedro, they played here last year, so they know the fans, they know the city. But Ramiro's just some kid, fresh off the airplane. He barely was here for preseason and went out there and played as if this game, his life depended of it, and I was very surprised by that, man. I really like that. I think he's gonna be a fan favorite. Anybody caught your attention when it came to that?
Yeah, he definitely did. That step over kind of hesitation he did. That what's his face? The little Hobbit guy back on New York just went flying right by him out of screen. That was disgusting. Late in the second half on the sideline when he had the shot that deflected out of bounds. Probably would have been in if the New York center back didn't deflect it. Mikey Halliday, he's living up to what we thought he would be. That guy is going to be the man as a right back. As much as people love Huan, however he says his last name, he changed it, I feel like, every other day he was here. But Halliday's it. I mean, the services that he was putting into the box, we didn't have one service that wasn't lethal unless it got deflected, which says a lot. That's a huge upgrade from last year. Was we were just praying for Ruan to put in one good service into the box.
For sure.
3 or 4. But yeah, and then Gillespie is just Gillespie. El Popo. He is what he is. He's incredible every time I watch him.
And John, it says a lot of the fact that Juan wasn't even in the 18 for DC United. So, I mean, I wish you the best. Like I said, I wish you the best for all the players. But facts are facts. This is a game of results. Fans pay their hard-earned money to see wins, and if you're not gonna give that to us, then it's time to go find people that will. We're not gonna see Red Bulls until Saturday, June the 3rd, and that's gonna be at 7:30 in their house in Harrison, New Jersey. And hold and behold, they are gonna be mad. They're gonna come out for revenge, and those are the teams that you gotta watch out for. Those are thirsty for revenge. Final thoughts on the home opener, John?
Positive. A win's a win. That's about all you can say about it. Win's a win. They took care of business. On to the next one. Improve. Get used to the new guys. New guys get used to the guys that have been here. Keep building, and this is going to be an exciting team. Very exciting team.
Absolutely. So to close, let's go to the moment of the game. And that moment of the game was brought to you by Facu Torres. Handball in the box. I was right behind the south end goal. Clear as day. Even though VAR checked. I mean, they didn't even ask the ref to go see the monitor. Clear as day. Unfortunate for Red Bulls. But this is the game. Could have been us. So let's go and see how Orlando City opens the 2023 season with a ball from the boot of the guy from Montevideo, Uruguay.
Oh God, please come on.
And just like that, friends, we get the W, 3 points. We get to go home and celebrate, and that is that. So water under the bridge, one for the history books. Orlando City wins its 9th. Well, not win, but it's the 9th opening day at home, and where we get a result. I believe. Our first win came in 2017. Then after that, this is it. Twice we have won. Oh no, I think there's a third win.
Did we win in 20? I don't think we won in 20 because I was against.
No, that was a 0-0 result against RSL. Then 2021, was against Atlanta. That was 0-0 in 2022, which was last year. Who did we open against? Wow, I'm drawing a blank. I think we
Yeah,
won
me
last
too.
year. I think
The
we
one I
won.
keep thinking of is the RS. Was it RSO we played where we were down 2
You, yeah,
0
we,
and
no,
then
yeah, that was 2016.
yeah,
This is making fantastic
yeah.
podcasting, by the way. No, I think we won last year. I can't remember who it was that we started the season against. I know. Oh, you know what? I know. We defeated New York City 20. We played New York City 3 times. 2017, 2019. And oh yeah, yeah, it was I think last year we played New York City for the first
Okay.
and I think we won. But anyways, either way, we had not tasted the bitter chalice of defeat at home on opening day. So with that said, let's go ahead and move on to the next topic. And you guys, please forgive me as I find the banner. Let's see.
Well, I will say that we did get lucky on that call with our history with Pro and
Oh, for
VAR.
sure.
I could have in the replay. I could have 100% seen them overturning that.
No, for sure, my brother, for sure. And I am trying to. Okay, I'm trying to find the banner. What happened to it? It's live, people. It's live.
It's
So
live, and we're figuring out a system.
yes, of course.
We got
You know,
TC.
I created a banner. You know what? Let me go ahead and see if I can create this banner real quick. And I'm typing. It's about the playoffs. New playoff format. How's that? Let's see. Hopefully, there we go. New playoff format. Hopefully, it's correctly spelled. If it isn't, well, if you guys follow me on social media, you know how it is. So anyhow, this happened last Wednesday, like John said. Um, Personally, John, I felt that the setup that we had was great. You're rewarding the team that finishes first with a bye. Uh, where you finish matters. If you finish 5, 6, 7, you don't get a home game, and as you should. I feel that those are teams that barely made it. You gotta reward excellence. We are not a participation trophy league, and he made for great football, win or go home. And Americans love the single elimination format. And if you don't believe me, look how many times the NFL playoffs are single elimination. You also have March Madness, which is about to start. People love the bracket system. World Cup, many tournaments where win or go home is what people like. And I felt that without promotion relegation, it was sort of giving us some legitimacy when we had this type of format. Unfortunately, what we're gonna have moving forward, starting this year, is first 7 teams make playoffs. Eighth and ninth are going to be in a playing playoff game. Whoever wins rounds up the The 8 teams are going to be moving on to the postseason, and then in the first round of playoffs, you're going to have best out of 3. So basically, if you finish ninth, you win your playing game. You are rewarded with the trophy of mediocrity, which is having a playoff game if you manage to win, right? And the fact is that what we're gonna see is those teams that are finishing 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 are gonna get dispatched real quick, and we are just extending the season for no other reason than almighty dollar. I'm very disappointed about that because again, the haters, who we have many who can understand this is the league that we have. We gotta support local. This is the country we live in. We gotta support the teams that play in our cities. They're like, oh, this is the reason why I don't support it. Listen, the reason you don't support it is because you think it's cool to hit on MLS. Period. But I just thought that we had a perfect system and we had trashed it by doing this. What do you think?
Yeah, 100% agree. I mean, MLS was completely reaching for the dollar with adding multiple extra games. I mean, I really liked the 2 game system that they had several years ago that they did away with. On aggregate, I love on aggregate. It's just a little quirk that the beautiful game has that really no other game has. They did away with that because they're like, oh, it's taking too long, the season's too long, this, that, and the other. And then they come up with this, and it's like, you're going to finish in the same exact time that you finished with the previous one, 2 years, the one that they used to have with the 2 game format. Now you went from a single elimination, top 7 teams get in. First several places are guaranteed a home playoff game. It actually means something. To now it's like, who's got the home playoff game? And I know they went into it. It was very confusing for me to go through it because I personally hate it. I think it's a terrible step by the league to grow the game. Kind of gives false hope, even more false hope to new clubs coming in that, hey, we can possibly. I mean, how many? Orlando would have had what, 2 playoff appearances?
Oh yeah, Orlando, because Orlando finished 7th in 2015, 9th in 2016. I mean, Orlando City would have made playoffs.
Yeah.
I think all but maybe 1 or 2 years. So
Exactly.
in a way, people always make fun of us. Oh, you didn't make playoffs for 5 years. Well, if the league would have been this accommodating, we certainly would have.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't. I'm not bitter. I think that's rear view mirror stuff. It's in the past.
Oh yeah. I was
Um,
just saying how just unrealistic the new playoff format.
Absolutely, and I agree with you, John. I mean, we are giving false hope to fans. Oh, I'm going to watch my 9th place team in the playoffs, and that offsets will happen. Yes, but when you look at the fact that we have CCL, Open Cup, Leagues Cup, we have the Campeones Cup, we have playoffs, we have all these events, and that this league pretends that a roster of 32 players perform. I just don't see it. And I know a lot of people are like, well, my team overseas plays all this. Listen, my teams overseas have over 60 players on their rosters.
Yep.
And they have players that are only there to play these type of tournaments. There's players for the league. There's players for the tournaments, and I'm gonna be honest with you. That's the thing. I mean, there's a lot of things that people say out of ignorance. Like, why don't we play the European calendar? Which, by the way, not all European teams play that by that calendar. And it's a very good reason. North America is 15 degrees Fahrenheit colder than Europe, and we have higher snow precipitation. That's why we can't play. While I was sitting at the game on Saturday, my friend Dylan, who's from Calgary, tells me in Fahrenheit. This is the incredible piece of information he gives me. He says, it's awesome that we are able to be out here in shorts and t-shirts. The difference in temperature between Calgary and Orlando tonight is 130 degrees Fahrenheit, and they had like 10 feet of snow. So, friends, that's it. I don't find attractive, especially for places like Toronto and Minnesota and Boston and Seattle, Vancouver. I don't find that attractive football. I really don't. I don't know what people want, but anyhow,
In 2021, the playoff game in Nashville, the week of Thanksgiving, so it wasn't even middle of winter yet. I think at halftime it was 28 degrees.
Oh my goodness!
When we left Orlando in the morning it was in the 70s. So there was probably easily a 50-degree swing in weather there. People that say that, particularly people over in England, don't like admitting also the travel schedule that the U.S. has. 4-hour flight over there is a big deal. 4-hour flight here, cool. That's our third closest opponent now.
No, for sure. Um, got a comment here from Jim D. Top three in the East and West should get in. If they have to have a plane, make it fourth and fifth. And Jim, I'm with you on that. I think the fans understand that at times we have to take the hat of whatever club we support and understand that if we want better quality league, better teams, we have to shoot for excellence and not just get into the playoffs for the sake of getting into the playoffs. So now let's start rounding off the show, and we're gonna go to our next opponent, FC Cincinnati. They are fresh out of their victory at home, 2-1 against Houston. I watched the highlights. Very good game for them. Definitely a team that was the laughing stock of the league for 4 or 5 years. They won the wooden spoon, and now they're a new team. What do you think about these guys? They swept us last season, John.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they kind of last year came out of nowhere. That first match when they beat us was a shocker. I remember thinking, "Oh, it's Cincinnati. We're going to beat, win 2, 3, 4 nothing. It's not going to be that big of a deal." And they come out and win. They're offensively, they're dangerous. They have the forward, is it Sanchez? I think his first name is.
Yeah.
Brandon Sanchez, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
You have him. He's, incredible talent. I'm sorry, Brandon Vasquez. Brandon Vasquez is his name.
There you go. Sorry about
made his.
You're wrong, and instead of helping you, I'm.
You're fine. He made his first. I was trying to find it in my notes and I couldn't find it. He made his first U.S. men's national team appearance. Back in January and or beginning of this month, whenever that was. And played very well last year for them. They're offensively, they're very strong. Scored 2 goals this past weekend, and won a playoff game last year, bringing back a lot of the same people that they had on their squad last year. So they should be tough. Whatever the coach was feeding them last year in the dressing room, they took and ran with, and it wouldn't surprise me if they continue it this year.
No, absolutely. I think they're the 2 players that impressed me, at least based on what I got to see. Lucho Acosta, who is at the top of my I want to fight you in the middle of a cell list. I still think of his foul on Pino, and just that darn video with Wayne Rooney that haunts me in my nightmares.
Mm-hmm.
And Sergio Santos, who is a bully, doesn't like Orlando, left Montreal, and definitely he's gonna come with to Orlando with a chip over his shoulder because he wants to shut down the supporters. He wants to come and be a clown. I got news for them. Last year, that first game, we were overconfident. Second game, we were overburdened by the Open Cup. It's a brand new thing, and it's not going to happen again. History between these 2 clubs is 3 victories for Orlando City, 2 for Cincinnati, and 2 ties. Last 3 games, Orlando City saw these folks June 24th. FCC won 1-0. Then March 12th with a 2-1 victory here home for FC Cincinnati, and before that, October 16th with a victory of 1-0 for Orlando City. I'm gonna touch this real quick, friends, because we're running out of time, and at the same time, the game for CCL is next Tuesday, so obviously we want to dice it and the best we can. Orlando City has to win this game at home. I feel we have to put all our eggs in this basket. I'm not going to fill my head with dreams. I think Tigres It's very dangerous. It's the best team in North America. Probably the worst draw that we could have had in this tournament. I would like to go and look good and and do what we gotta do. But the priority should be the league. I'm gonna be quite honest with you. I think the fans want to start over the crest, and while winning CCL, obviously Seattle have proven that that can be done. We're not Seattle. We don't have that firepower. We don't have the signings they have, the longevity of those signings, the longevity of their manager. We're getting there though. So to me, it's all meat on the grill on Saturday. I think this is for pride. You gotta go and bust their teeth in your house. You gotta tell people, show people that what happened last Saturday is gonna be a constant. You're gonna win at home. Last year, unfortunately, that wasn't the case. So I want a victory there. And what happens in Monterrey is I want us to go and perform well. But if we don't get a result, it's one of those. Hey, I was just glad to compete and try out for next year. That to me, that should be the goal. Other teams have managed to go to CCL, like Austin, who on a technicality makes it, believe it or not, and then gets the weakest team in the tournament in Violet, a Haitian team that most likely is going to have to play their game in Dominican Republic because obviously their country is in turmoil. Their league is not even playing, and there's rumors that they might have to forfeit. That's that. We can get that team. We have to get the giant of the CONCACAF. John, what do you think about what needs to happen this Saturday and following next Tuesday as well?
Yeah, Saturday. Just win it. When it comes to the CCL game, just look respectable. Don't go out there and lay a dud. Make it close. If in a couple weeks coming back home on the home leg, if it's close, then you go for it. See what the guys have. See how we stack up. Maybe this week in training and continues on Saturday and something clicks with the guys and we're all of a sudden playing, getting closer to our ceiling and playing very well offensively. The guys are connected and passes are flowing. Wait for that home game against Tigres and see what. Then you go for it. I want to go for this first one full out on board, full out first CCL game in club history. Make it close, make it competitive, but make the league, the priority right now. See what happens when the dust settles and you come back home, and then in a couple of weeks you go for their throats here at home.
No, absolutely. And on top of that, after that game, we're gonna be on the road at DC. And I have to contend with the cold temperatures and being away from home. So, I'm betting on the boys of the 407. Always, I believe in our club. There's gonna have to be some heavy rotation for sure. We haven't seen Gaston Gonzalez yet. Unfortunately, he had to return to Argentina for immigration paperwork, and when he came back, too late to be part of the 18th on Saturday. But we have a lot of talent in our team. Not everybody made the 18th. To me, it's a great problem to have. So this Saturday, 7:30, 655 West Church Street, all roads lead to Exploria Stadium. Bring a friend. Guys, bring a friend. Bring somebody. At work, I'm pretty sure that you have somebody that is new to the city, maybe at school, maybe at church, synagogue, mosque, temple. Bring somebody. I know you know somebody that hasn't experienced the beautiful game, that has not been able to go to a game. Perhaps somebody you just met in the elevator. Invite people. All it takes is, have you been to an Orlando City game? And I don't get tired of telling people how many folks I have met that's how they got into their first game. I know our good friend Paola Medina from Tiro de Esquina podcast in Loud and Proud, Orlando. She told a story that she went to a work event at the end of 2016 and left hungry for more. And they're like, no, this is the last game of the season. You got to wait till next year. That's how it starts, my friends. And alongside, she brought her husband, and they're now podcasters. The season ticket holders. That's how it starts, friends. So bring a friend. Let's pack Exploria. Let's show that that last week wasn't a fluke. That this fan base is behind them. Let me go ahead and put this comment here as we're closing, my friends. Jim D, we have to score more than one goal this Saturday. I need to see some hope that change is coming. And Jim, I agree with you. Throughout the league, teams were scoring heavily. And before we go, I want to tell you guys the scores. Nashville 2 over 2-0 over New York City. DC 3-2 over Toronto. Philadelphia 4-1 over Columbus. Miami 2-0 over Montreal. New England 1-0 over Charlotte. Atlanta 2-1 over San Jose. Obviously, Orlando City 1-0 over Red Bulls. Cincinnati 2-1 over Houston. Minnesota 1-0 over Dallas. St. Louis, the new boys in town, went to Austin and embarrassed them. Good for them. 3-2 over Austin. And Real Salt Lake 2-1 over Vancouver. And as we're talking, Sunday, Seattle 4-0 over Colorado. And as we are talking, Portland, Kansas City should be have started 7 minutes ago. Obviously, this game was rescheduled due to bad weather, and because I'm an addict of football, I'm gonna be watching this game after we sign off. John, final words. Where can we find you on social media and all that good stuff?
Yeah, I mean, he said he wants to see changes coming, and just look at the signings. They kind of showed, proved in their signings this offseason changes coming. They have the firepower. They have the individual talent. It's just about it connecting. You can find me on Twitter at that boy JR on Twitter. And just keep your head up. It's a 1-0. I know we only won 1-0. It looked ugly, but better times are coming. This team needs time to gel. Hopefully, by the end of this month, by the end of March, middle of April, we're in stride and taking the league by storm.
No, absolutely. This story is just starting. Remember, friends, we gotta support in the good and more so in the bad times. And I can be found at Florida_man76. Hopefully next week, our friend Brian will be here to complete the trifecta. Thank you very much for watching the live or later on in the week. I also would like to remind you, we are at in 90 minutes _pod on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. This show you can watch live 9 p.m. Orlando time, Mondays on YouTube and Twitter. And spread the word. If also I want to give some love to our friends from OC Fan TV, collecting comments from the fans on the northeast end over there on central of the stadium. Should go show them some love. They need new faces. It can't be me every week. So go over there, spend 5 minutes, and give your feelings about the game. They're producing good content, and I was there this past weekend. Hopefully, they should be posting the reactions. I think either today or tomorrow. That's Monday and Tuesday. So go ahead and support them. And as always, go support all the podcasters, all the fans that are out there creating content. Remember, friends, we're not making money out of this. We do it for the love of the game, for the love of our club. And I want to thank John for joining me tonight. And I want to say goodbye the only way I know how, reminding you that football is not played on paper. It's played on grass. And whatever happens this next Saturday, we're going to find out in 90 minutes. Thank you very much. From John, from myself, may God bless you. And as always, vamos, Orlando!